In the next time, the time we have here, we are going to cover now risk and then whatever the questions you may have. I hope you have bunch of questions. I would love to answer your question answers and we'll cover every single thing, the questions you may have because I'm here as long as you want. Okay. So few things just before we start. If you haven't joined the program, one of the reason why I recommend my program is because of the follow-up system. We follow up with you. That is the most important and critical part in our journey. Like till you become certified PMP, I will be there. I will be coaching you, guiding you, and walking you along the journey. So if you want somebody who will really work with you and who will guide you till you become certified project management professional, feel free to join our program. Now let's talk about the risk. What is risk? Risk is any uncertain thing that has yet not happened. You identify the risk before happening it and you make a plan for it. That is the entire risk management. We have four documents in the risk topic: risk management plan, we have risk report, we have guys message in your groups that the class has started so that people can join, and we are covering this topic: issue log, and then we have risk register. Risk management plan basically talks about how the risk process will be occurring. It does not have any risk as per se in it. It talks about how the risk process will be occurring throughout the project, which what will be the definition of probability and impact, how risk will be handled in the process. It defines your risk tolerance of the organization, how much organization risk can be take, what is the threshold of the organization. Is your organization risk seeker, averse, neutral? It will talk about those things. Very critical part. It does not have any risk in it. It just define the process, how the audit will happen, things of those nature. Risk report is your summary report of risk review meeting. Every weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, depending upon when you have that, you will have a risk review meeting. In risk review meeting we will discuss, okay, these are the things we need to work on, etc., etc. all those things all those things basically will be in the risk report. Risk exposure, what has happened till the previous risk meeting, what risk you can see in future. Risk. Okay, risk by itself is probability into impact. Anything you identify before happening, before happening, and you make a plan for it. If it follows these two things, you identify before happening, right? Two things. In order for something to be risk, it should follow two parts. You identify it before happening, you identify that thing before happening, and you make a plan for it. If that is the case, it goes into risk register. If something happened or you did not have a plan for it, it goes into issue log. It goes into issue log. Issues are problem. Either you did not identify or you don't have a plan for it, it goes into issue log. Once you identify the issue, it put in the issue log, you do the root cause analysis, like why it was not identified, and if needed, you raise a change request to handle that issue. If needed, you raise a change request to handle that patent issue. Once the change request is approved, you implement it, and then you update your issue log. Right? This is the sequence of the issue log. If the issue occur, if something occur, you don't have a plan for it. Put in the issue log, do the root cause analysis, why it was not identified before it. You raise a change request to handle it, and then you update the plan. Risk register. The same sequence we use to identify stakeholder, the same sequence we use to identify requirement, like ask interviews, sponsor, asking sponsor, focus group, workshop, documents, OPS, EF, SWOT analysis, every single thing, your past asset, whatever you can use, you will use to identify the risk, and you will put all the risk in the risk register. Once you have put the risk into risk register, we need to prioritize. To prioritize the risk, we have two processes. Qualitative risk assessment, where we'll say, let's say probability is very low, low, medium, high, very high. This can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And impact similarly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We define the probability. This will be defined in your risk management plan, right? So risk is probability into impact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This matrix is actually made in your risk management plan, so you don't have to make it yourself. Organization to organization, the matrix can be 3 by 3, 5 by 5, 7 by 7. Okay, depending upon the organization. 16, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All those things will be there. Okay. Now you take all the risk. You have a meeting. You rank the risk. Let's say there are thousands of risks. Qualitative risk assessment, you will prioritize, okay, very high, high, medium, low. And now we'll focus on high, medium, or low, right? High, medium, low, we'll work into that and we will identify those risks. Now, we'll work into that quantitative risk assessment. Quantitative, as the name says, it will give us the number. Quantitative risk assessment will give us the number, like how many risks are occurring there, what are the things there. So quantitative risk assessment, we look into that. Okay, these are the risks that could occur into us, that are the risks we need to look into that quantitatively, and we will handle those. There are various tools that we use for quantitative risk assessment. One of them is influence diagram. Put in the chat box which of this activity you feel is most risky. Which activity is most risky? Put in the chat box. Which activity do you think is most risky? F. So similarly, we just give number and we identify those risky activities. We can also use influence diagram to identify how one impact can have positive or negative impact onto that. Influence diagram, or also known as tornado diagram. Influence or tornado diagram can be used for this purpose. Once we have used that, we can actually use simulation, Monte Carlo simulation, to see what is the probability of achieving something, achieving within time or achieving within budget. Monte Carlo analysis or budget will be used. I am moving through these tools and technique quickly. Right? If anyone is not clear, we can discuss it once I'm done with this topic. Uh, Guys, you don't need to remember these tools and technique. You just need to understand what's their purpose is there. Okay. Sensitivity analysis is tornado diagram, this one. So Monte Carlo analysis of probability distribution you can use, or we can also use expected monetary value. Risk into is probability into impact. We just calculate the risk, how much risk is there. Let's say if the probability of something is 50% and the risk is a negative risk of $400, what will be expected monetary value? 400 multiplied by zero point 0.5 minus $200. That is your expected monetary value. So now we have ranked the risk. What we have done, we made risk management plan, then we identify risk, put them into risk register, then we prioritize them qualitatively. Now quantitatively, We have prioritized the risk. Now I will put response for those risks. Since risk is probability into impact, negative risk, and positive risk. First, we will have proactive response. Proactive response is basically when we take action even before the risk occur. Avoid when I make the probability or impact zero. That risk never happen. Change the plan. Don't do that thing. It is avoiding the risk. If I increase the probability and impact, both of them, that is exploiting. If I cannot avoid the risk, I mitigate it, decrease the probability or impact. If I cannot increase both probability and impact, I will enhance the risk. We can transfer the risk by buying insurance, or in positive, we share the risk. If risk goes beyond our tolerance, we escalate the risk. All these are proactive approach where once you identify the risk, you immediately take action. In acceptance of the risk, active acceptance used for both, we identify the risk, put in the risk register, make a plan, contingency plan, plan A, fallback plan, like we make two plans for a risk. We set a risk owner. He will look at the risk trigger. He will look at the risk trigger, and if the risk happen, he will look at the risk trigger. If risk happen, he will implement the contingency plan. Once he implement the plan, there are two possibilities. Either you get with the residual risk, the small risk that is accepted. For example, I had the tea, I try to drink all, still some tea is left. That is accepted. Okay, residual risk. The other is secondary risk. Because of the primary response, another risk is identified. You put it into the risk register. So, one more time, risk management plan, then identify the risk, then prioritize it qualitatively, quantitatively, then we make the response. For the risk responses that we accepted the risk, we implement the response, we review it and looked into that. If I mapped it into the processes: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing. In planning, you make risk management plan, you identify risk in the risk register, you rank them, prioritize them, make plan there. You implement the risk response in execution. In monitoring and control, you do risk review meeting where risk reports are generated, right? In monitoring and control, you review that new risk are identified, we go back there and put it into that. So that's the entire planning, execution, monitoring and control. One process that is called integration is basically once you have all the plans, name all the plans that you remember that are part of the project management plan: scope, schedule, cost, quality, risk, procurement, scope baseline, schedule baseline, cost baseline. All the plans, once you have identified all the plans, you combine all the plans. In addition to that, if you want to make any changes in the plan, you make a change management plan, how the changes will be handled, right? How the changes handle in agile, we already discussed. All the changes go to the product owner, he put them into the product backlog, he prioritized those changes by high value, high risk, and that's it. But in predictive, if the change come, the change goes to project manager in the change log. He does the impact analysis, how this impact scope, schedule, cost, quality, customer satisfaction, and then he gave the change to the change control. The change control board approve the change, we implement the change, communicate it, and rebalance the project. That's change management plan. If something is changing the deliverable, we have a configuration management plan. That's all about this monitoring and control. Then finally, we have, once the project deliverable is accepted, we have, let's say, now there are two scenarios. Either your deliverable are accepted, Either your deliverable are accepted or your deliverables are rejected. Okay, so let's say two ways, whatever the way is, deliverables, project is, let's say project is cancelled. It can be too risky, the money was the, you did not have the money, it's not valuable, whatever is it, project is cancelled, or deliverables, project is completed, deliverables are accepted, it is completed. In both cases, next step is you go to sponsor, go to sponsor. Once you give approval, start closing the project. Both ways. Start closing the project, close all procurement, whatever you can. If some procurement is open, that's not your problem. Start writing final report. You start writing final report. Guys, just for your information, I will share these document where I am writing to you in a while after that. Start writing final report. Start check benefit benefit management plan for benefits. It is important. Up lesson learn register, update it. Gee. Project document, update and archive. Lesson learn register put into the lesson learn repository. Both lesson learn repository and project document becomes part of OPA. Share final report according to communication management plan. Release the team. Celebrate your success. This is how you close the project. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, your entire PMP that you need to know. If you have any question about anything, please feel free to ask. Thank you for the clapping, Kolvinga. I like it. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. I'm available here. And of course, if you want to join our program, every single thing that you need to become PMP that is available here. You can raise your hand, and this recording will be provided and will be placed on YouTube, so you can watch it later on, right? So this recording is already uploaded again as a part 2. Anyone has any question, feel free to ask me. Thank you very much for joining, guys. Not important, feature driven, behavior driven, and Chandra, not important. You see, you need to use Pareto on your preparation, Chandra. Focus on the things that are important. Vishal, go ahead. What's your question?
Yes, sir. I'm just having question about the change log impact analysis TCB, perform integrated change control, and direct and manage work.
What is the question,
How?
Vishal? You see, let me rephrase what those things are, and then we can work into that. When anyone can raise a change, the change goes to project manager in a change log. He does the impact analysis. He does the impact analysis, and then he send it to change control board. They approve the change. All this is happening in perform integrated change control process. And you implement the change in direct and manage work. That's it. You don't need to remember any processes, but these two are important. In direct and manage work, you implement the work. In perform integrated change control, changes are raised and they are implemented. Okay.
Okay, before going CCB, I think the one document is the change log.
All
That
the
is what I'm.
yeah, all the changes must be put in the change log so that project manager can formally do the impact analysis. The project manager cannot do the impact analysis out of thin air. Na? he need to do something there. Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay, Nick, you would like to join my program? Sure, you have my number, and if we can have a discussion, you can join. It's starting on this Friday, guys. Thank you, thank you. If you don't mind, I have four questions. PMO types. PMO, Mohammed, you are a one-to-one student. Na? We will have a discussion after this. Don't worry. So we have sportive, directive TMOs. We will discuss that. Thank you very much. How to manage time in PMP. They're like one of the thing that when we talk about management of PMP, you have 230 minutes. You should have done at least good amount of question on a simulator like my simulator or any timed simulator. And I do recommend go and get those simulator where you cannot stop time, because then you will be forced to sit for that time. That actually help you to manage time. I recommend using the methodology of 80, first 60 question in 80 minutes, next in 75, then 75. Okay. Configuration management plan, USRA, is the plan that handles how the product will change, version control and things of those nature. I hope that makes sense to you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a few questions on the exam. Put in the chat box if you have few questions, Subhani. I'm leaving all the questions. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. A project, review the following step. A project has been successfully executed. Closure, sector lesson learned. I'll share send those steps which I just showed. What part of the from this chapter is part of people? So Musa, you don't need to worry about what comes in people, process, business environment. You need to take a PMP as a whole view. As I explained it in it to it, anything can come from anywhere. Stakeholder communication, team agile is a combination, and the question you will get in the exam will not be the question from one topic. There will be a combination of all the topics. Drinking a smooth wine. I never had a wine, Chandra, so I can say a Starbucks coffee. A risk has happened. Okay, if a risk has happened, if first thing we'll need to review the risk register. Do we have made a plan for it? If we had made a plan, we will implement a response. If we don't have a plan, we'll update the issue log, Musa. Adidas, how do we approach each question and time? So again, Subhani, as I was saying to another student, 80 first 60 minutes give 80 minutes, the next 75 75, 80 75 75 should be your rule. 80 75 75. Instead of managing each question, don't do that, because some questions will be long, some questions will be small. Take 60 60 question. If you don't want to do it, divide 80 first section 80 minutes 60 question into 20 20 20. So 30 minutes for the first section, 25 25 for the later section. In this way you can do that. The recent feedback, I actually I put success journeys all over the YouTube. You can look at those success journeys. uh, the exam is very difficult, they are clearing it. For those pass, in last 2 months we did not had anybody fail. We had like 193 students who have passed the exam, and two students could not pass. Those who could not pass, the major issue has been the exam was too difficult, they were tired or things like those. So if you are prepared, if you have done questions, if you manage time, you will pass the exam. Okay, what is the recent feedback? I have given you the answer. Thank you. Is it must to complete? No. The exam questions are basically running with the timer. After 2 hours, 30 minutes, if you don't complete the question, the time, if you don't complete even, if you don't do five questions in the entire time, the time will be run out. It is, I would recommend to complete all the questions. Project is in planning phase and one of the stakeholders is going to be on the leave. What should the PM do? So now first thing is that if the he's going on holidays, we need to look at the charter and plan that what are his responsibility, so that we can share his responsibility with him. If it is an initiation phase, we need to review the charter. If it's in planning phase, we need to review charter and plan and communicate with him. Okay, these things you have missed, Ankur. Organize meeting with the sponsor, evaluate. No, had a meeting with him, talk to him what things are there. Ankur, what you are saying? Science. I cannot read that thing. You have taken screen. Is there? No, so far exam is not going to be updated. There is no news from PMI. I'm PMI ETT, so exam is not going to update in the recent past. What resource? I recommend Akil. My material is more than enough. If you want to read book, this book Pathway to PMP. This is available at Amazon. You can buy it from Saudia. Pakistan, all over the world. This book for those who want to read book. I don't in my programs you don't have to read any book, but those people who want to read book, this book, Pathway to PMP, the cheapest book, and it gets every single thing. I have written it in a way that it covers every single thing that you need for exam. Straightforward, no bullshit. Akhil. Yes, I have a simulator. You can buy that simulator, Chandra, on my website. It's $99. 70 participants. So how we will calculate the communication channel? N into n minus 1 by 2. That is the formula. So 70 people are there. 70 into 70 minus 1, 69 divided by 2. N into n minus 1 by 2. Gee, anyone else? Any question? I told you, you ask question, I am available. Could you explain project management triangle? So project management talent triangle is not the part of a PMP exam. You don't need to get worried about it. It considers about the PDUs, how the PDUs should be learned. So I highly recommend let's focus, Mohammed, on the PMP exam part. What will be covered in the PMP exam part? However, it is leadership. What are the skills we need to know about the leadership, technical skills, and business documents? What are the business documents are there that we need to look into that? Okay. My number is on it, already written here. +1 848 338 0545. And my email, I'll also write my email for you. Okay, I'll put it this. Okay, I'll write it easy for you. Mhm. This is my number and this is my email address for those people who does not have it. +1. I'm in US. It's a US number. Both numbers are available on WhatsApp and direct calling. Yes. Okay, what else we have here? I have seen some question in the mock. Okay. Mohammed, when you did mock, okay, how to mitigate critical path activities? You will not get question on the critical path in the exam. However, when you want to mitigate, we need to analyze the schedule. What activities are critical? What are the risks them? That's why we have contingency reserves there to handle those things. Yeah, you can buy that book also in PDF form. Yeah, the price that is shown on the website, $19, is actually PDF format. So you can buy the PDF format. Just send me the message. I have bought the PDF format. I'll send you the PDF copies. Okay. Please post your number and email again. I put it the number and email on screen. I hope you got the number now. Thank you, Musa. Thank you very much. Once again, good night. It's morning for me. Okay, this could be very. Guys, just let me read that. So this could be very naive question. For every plan, we have to go to sponsor. Yes, for every plan, you need to raise the change request. We have to go. What do they look for in order to get the approval? We do the impact analysis, Bilal. We looked into that, how this is impacting each change, how they are impacting other thing, scope, how impacting change in scope, impacting schedule, cost, quality, risk, and those things, how they are being impacted. So that's the rejection criteria. Thank you very much. Yes, who was asking a question? First of all, thank you for the session. Who is asking the question? Can you please yeah. Okay. So I'll be very quick. So in between the time where you were mentioning about the Agile Scrum, so you were mentioning about the zero sprint. So I recently have gone through the Scrum certifications and recently have gone through the although I don't want to put a question mark on that, but still there was nothing mentioned like zero sprint. How it works like? Yeah. Some different Scrum have their own ways what they want to teach, and PMI have their own ways. If you want to read a book about agile, I would recommend go for a agile guide by PMI. If you're a PMI member, you will be able to download that, and I'm sure architectural spike is mentioned there, and plus it is mentioned in the PMI authorized training material. Basically, and even in the projects we do architectural spike. Architectural spike is basically time you spend aside to handle the proof of concept, that is it even possible to do that thing or not, right? Is it even possible to do that thing or not? Architecture, the purpose, even we do in that analysis, we do CFD ratios in mechanical and electrical engineering to look into that the design is possible or not. So that is the purpose of sprint zero or architectural spec to actually worked into that. When you read scrum guide, they directly go with the risk spike. They say that all the risks are identified there, but then they also say that fail fast, right? That is one of the concept of of agile and scrum, fail fast. When we do architectural spike, we immediately identify, okay, can we do something or we cannot do that, the project need to be cancelled. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Gee, anyone else has any question? Thank you very much, guys. And if anyone want to join, you have my number, you have my email, and I wish you best of luck. And it was great. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I wish you best of luck. Bye bye.
Recording stopped.
For those people who are at LinkedIn, who are at YouTube and listening to that, I want to talk to you specifically. Now that session is done, I want to talk to you guys. Guys, you see, if you have been thinking to do PMP, this is the best time. We have 5 days left in the batch program, and every single thing that you may need to pass in the PMP program, I will personally provide it. I am not like I will hire somebody and who will provide the training. No, no, no. I will take care of you. I'll make sure that you become certified PMP. For every single step, I will hold your hand to personal follow up and make sure you become PMP. So I recommend that you join the program. You have my number, have my email. If you wish to do, just ping me on my WhatsApp and I'll get back to you and we can start your journey. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, and bye. Adnan, Chetan, Jigar, Jiku, Ajit, Samad, Jarat, Anu, Akil, Mohammed Faisal, Jay Prakash, Mohsin, Mafi, Priti, Priya, Ajit, Tosh, Tushar, Ubaid, Jiku, Sir Wasim, Sir Irfan, Sayyid, Vishnu, Kam, Mohammed, Vandana, Vel Kumar, Ali Raza, Edwin, Chandra, Mo, Imran, Sir Arfat, Deepak, Adnan, Ajay, Batul, Ibrahim, Murli, Rizwan, Sachin, Sujit, Compnil, Riyaz, Sayyid, Faisal, Harun, Khan, Vinay, Javed, Sanger, Farid, Pradeep, Prem, Abhishek, Amir. Well, congratulations, Muhammad, Sai, Parita, Nabil, Chitra, Talaj, Harish, congratulations, Manish, Amar, Adirul, Felisa, Aslam, Atif, Grace, Greg, Matt, Sachin, Kamal, Bashkar, Rohit, that is Vikshit, Vyas, Saurabh, Siddhartha, Nadir, Tarek, Venkat, तो हरी प्रसिंज है मंसूर रेहाना विजय